All right. Weekend report. Well, not weekend report. Friday report. End of the day. End of the week. And we see that we potentially have a dip that could be bought or potentially be bought. Um, Today was a very volatile day. So if we look in intraday, you see that it had some really. It was up 90 points, came all the way down, almost flat, came, then rose back up. And pretty much want to see if it can clear at least this high or this high if you're looking at the 5 minute chart. Now, from the daily aspect, it's a small retracement and it's still above the 10, still bullish MACD, and the price action doesn't tell me anything to be bearish right now. So, a lot of names didn't have some follow through, which was kind of more concerning. And I will show that on a couple of names that I was looking at. And we'll kind of go from there. So Dow Jones looks good monthly, okay. Weekly, we're just again right at this channel that we've been trading for a long time. So we don't know if it's going to pop up or pop down, but the bias is definitely up due to the monthly chart. So it's above there. And it looks good. I'm not looking to short anything, quite honestly, but there are a couple of things that do look very weak. The composite, we have. Come on already. Come on, come on, come on. Work with me, work with me, work with me. Let me see what's going on. Okay, composite, we're looking okay. Again, it's back above the 10. We want this at least to curl up from the MACD aspect of things. But if it gets back above this 39.66 level, then I think we could look to see more upside. And people say things look toppy or not. I can't predict it. So I don't really mess with it right now. So you have two small body candles. So this is showing some tight, sideways action. But the trend, as you can see through, all of these moves, basically from the lower left to the upper right is bullish. From the upper left to the lower right is bearish. And this is pretty much where we are now from weekly time frame. So, and we really don't have anything. I mean, we can look even, the monthly to see. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I don't know what's going on with this data sometimes, but this happens from now and then. But anyway, I think it was just coming in actually. So you can see, we have basically around these levels. That's the next 45, 42.75 was the last swing point that we kind of looked at in this area right here. But this is, this is going back to 2000. But these are levels when you look at the monthly that you really want to see going on. So I'll actually put some level of a line there just to kind of, show that that's the last swing point. But we're far from that right now. But, we'll see. It is what it is. So the Russell kept a retracement, gave kind of like a, I don't know if you want to consider this a hammer, but it's basically coming right at this previous pivot point. So we just kind of have to see what's going on from here. So that's what you want to look for. You got to look left a lot to see kind of where things are going. So it stopped right at this last swing point. So let's see if that's going to be, and it broke above. So if it's once was resistance, now becomes support, we have to see if that's going to work for that. The weekly still looks intact, but you do have an engulfing pattern as well. But that doesn't mean that it's going to roll. So I would just be cautious, and we'll see how that works out. S&P 500. S&P 500 continue to look to the upside from the weekly. You do see that maybe it may get some rest. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks up, so maybe a little pullback is in order. It's still at this 10. You did see that volatility as well. You can see that it opened basically right here, went down below, came back up. So if anything, that's showing that the bulls has a little some resilience to get the bears and push it back above the open. So that's a good sign if you were looking for some type of bullish stuff, but you definitely want to see some follow through release above this high or this high as well to kind of step in. So now let's go into some names. Apple's still looking weak. Well, not weak, but it's just not doing anything, quite honestly. So you needed to get above this area, at least this area right here, or you revisit when it gets back above previous highs and gives you some type of tradable bounce. But it's not giving me anything right here right now, so I would just let it be. I'm not going to force the trade. Google, it's pretty much been sideways for a couple of days. If you look at the excuse me, if you do look at the weekly, you can see that it's just been in a very tight range. So compared to these weeks, but again, the trend is still way up. But you had an explosive mode. I mean, this earnings was ridiculous. So you're expecting a little bit of retracement, or at least some time to kind of build back up some steam, because this was a hell of a gap. You're talking about a 13 plus gap on $1,000 plus stock. So. And it did move up. It did give you a little, if you were trading quick, maybe you broke above here and you scalped some and stuff like that. But right here, right now, it's not giving you anything above this 1040, and that's what I would be looking at to get in some action. Amazon, same thing, just trading sideways, actually give you an engulfing pattern now. So I don't know if it's going to fill that gap, but I would definitely be looking at the low of 352.62 as something to say, okay, if it breaks below that, this gap could be filled. So we just keep it at that and see how this thing works out. There's no predicting here. We just want to see how things are working out. Price line continues to look, it didn't follow through strong on the downside from this engulfing pattern that we said it engulfed about 3 days of prior action. But it can continue to go down, and we kind of can see that we don't have a bull setup currently. If it breaks above this level of this down channel, or at least these lower highs, then it could be something that might be able to set up or something like that. We have Tesla. Tesla's still looking kind of weak, needs to recapture above that 50. But you can see right here, right now, if you look at the weekly, it is below the 10 and is below what I was considering a little bit of that previous support. So I would look for a close below that to really start looking for retracements to short. It is what it is. I'm trading the chart, not the the sexiness of the name. So sometimes you don't let that stuff blind you. Price action right now, Solar City. Just two small candles. I don't know if this would be considered like a little small flag. We know that we have, let me take this, this pendant broke down, and we don't know if we're testing it flagging, but remember that this line right here is the support from the previous swing point right here on the weekly. So not the previous swing point, but a major swing point as well. So if it's getting down, is this now turned into a flag? So if I took this stuff off, let me get this off. If I took this and went like this, are you now bullish? That's the thing. You just have to see how it goes. If it could break above that 60 level, then there definitely could be some more action. But we have to see some follow through. MasterCard actually did really well today. That might be something you want to look at. The price action again still looks great, and kind of goes from there. So you have DD, 3D. It's actually squeezing them out today. Continues to go up. So that was a good one. You have MCK. This is something I'm actually in that has continued to go up. I thought I was actually going to get stopped out, and I didn't, which is a cool thing at times. And that looks good. The banking sector. We have BAC, didn't really do much. You have Goldman Sachs, really just sideways for a little bit. JP Morgan gave you a piercing pattern, which is basically a gap below. If you look at the price action, a gap below and all the way up. So that's bullish. But again, if you're looking at it, it just needs to get, I think, above that 53 at least for you to start looking at it. Yeah, 53, 55, quite honestly. 55 before you start really looking. I would look at it. But again, this is just an opinion of mine, and everybody can have their own. So, Citigroup, come on already. Okay. Still continues to look weak to the downside. Could test these previous lows right here. You see that it's pretty much bounced off of that. You got the weekly that, again, is coming here. So we want to see this broken. Yeah, you want to see that broken to the upside, basically around that $50 area before we start looking at stuff. Going from there, you have Wells Fargo. what's going on today? Having a little data issues, but it's actually giving a shooting star to go more to downside. So it's been trading sideways for a little bit. Cores, that one actually broke down, so it didn't have that follow through I thought it would have above 79, 78, 82. Never got back above that, and now it looks like it could be breaking down a little bit. Got to be a little cautious, but you have the bearish MACD cross, and we'll see how that one goes. You got Jazz looking weak as well, and these were previous strong names. It's bounced back basically to this level that we were showing from the weekly. This is just if I continue this uptrend, and kind of have to see the weekly actually doesn't look as bad as the daily, so that's something to be aware of. And if it could get it back above that 95.24 level, that could be something that could be a little bit attractive as well. I did see strength in Boeing. Boeing continued to go up to the upside, so that's one that looks really, really good. Johnson & Johnson gave like a nice engulfing pattern, and that could be some more action to the upside. So that's something you might want to keep on your watch list. Philip Morris back above this level, maybe back above this level, 91.25 could be something good as well. Pfizer, another engulfing pattern, so that one looks pretty good. Just keep on your watch list and see how you will play that one out. I think I did Facebook already. That one didn't follow through. Got above the high, but never really gave you anything that, didn't really give you any sort of follow through. So we just have to see how this price action is really going to work out. You got Baidu. This is sloppy. Like I don't want to trade this, so I want something that looks trending like this, this area, sideways, 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 break above. And just keep going up. But I don't like trading stuff like this. So we want to see who's going to win out of this battle. And I don't want to be trying to break up the fight and get punched in the mouth. The guys that do that, hey, boom, boom, they get more punches than the people that are actually in the fight. So we don't want to do that. So that's pretty much my analogy on why I don't really do a lot of that stuff. And kind of go from there. Chipotle is continuing to just go sideways for a little bit, so there's no real action right now from this stock. It's just been sideways in a tight, so it could pop up down. NQ looks like it's breaking down again at the 210, and so this one looks like it's ready. It might be ready to go down low, so keep that one on your watch list as well. This is definitely what we consider a flag. Sometimes you get nervous because you're like, this looks so obvious. Is it a trap? But you can't really think like that. You just got to make sure you do your homework and manage your risk as well, because at the end of the day, nothing's going to be perfect. So you just have to look at things at that, with that kind of eye. But that's pretty much it that I'll be covering today. I'm going to be doing my homework. I'll be sending out, of course, my mid. Usually around lunchtime, I do some scans and stuff like that, and I tweet what could be potentially setting up. Just kind of keep it on your watch list to see how it closes, because it could help you, build up, a nice watch list for maybe some tradable ideas if you like what you see. So again, you can subscribe, like, comment. Really like the feedback. Email if you have some symbols or anything that you want to get traded. It could be symbols, it could be futures, it could be whatever. If it has a chart, I want in. So hope you have a great weekend. Take some time out to really do your homework. This is what the weekend is about. So take it from there. All right. This is Max. Take care.